The world after the fall begins in a strange apocalyptic scenario. A sudden phenomenon known as the Tower of Nightmares, or simply the Tower, emerges in the modern world, and massive, deadly monsters invade. Faced with catastrophe, humanity discovers that entering this tower is their only way to survive and possibly reverse the destruction. The story follows our protagonist, Jaehwan, who receives an offer that almost everyone else chooses: the option to regress into the past to try again, but with all of one's memories retained. However, Jaehwan decides to reject that path and keep moving forward, no matter how steep the odds. The collapse begins. Civilization is crumbling. Cities are overrun by monstrous entities tied to mysterious stages or floors of the tower. People realize they can ascend through these floors to challenge the trials, and if they die, they might seize a special item called a regression stone, which sends their mind back in time. Most survivors, once they get a regression stone, will immediately use it. If you fail or feel you can't succeed, you revert back to the point before everything started, presumably better prepared to change your fate. This phenomenon spawns regressors, individuals living in repeated loops of the same cataclysmic events, each time hoping to beat the tower. But as Chapter 1 highlights, there is one man refusing to regress: Jaehwan. While everyone else escapes backward to start fresh, Jaehwan stands alone in the tower, continuing onward. He'd rather move forward, no matter the cost, than replay the same tragedy over and over again. He sees former teammates vanish, having used regression stones. He's left in the tower's brutal environment infested with towering beasts. The world outside has essentially collapsed, and within the tower, it's kill or be killed. We sense a deeper conflict too: the idea that the tower might be an illusion or a cosmic experiment, that the real system controlling everything is urging people to regress. Jaehwan, though, believes that continuously resetting the timeline is a trap, an endless loop. He wants genuine freedom, something that can only be discovered by pushing onward into uncharted territory. He battles monstrous creatures that roam each floor. Typical tower challenges revolve around defeating boss monsters or clearing puzzle-like scenarios. However, Jaehwan, having endured countless hardships, is far stronger and more seasoned than a normal first-timer. It's implied that many battles have already taken place. It becomes clear that during the time others have spent regressing, Jaehwan has simply kept climbing, training relentlessly. Only a handful of individuals in existence might be as experienced as he is. Most gave up and used regression stones at some point, effectively erasing their progress in the forward timeline. There are references to administrators or higher beings who might be behind the tower's creation. Strange messages appear, reminiscent of a game interface, like a status window that tracks your achievements or your clear rates. Jaehwan occasionally sees system messages acknowledging his progress, but they often read, "Warning, unexpected scenario. Single user continuing past recommended threshold." This underscores that the tower never anticipated someone would refuse regression so consistently. Jaehwan is walking an untested path, an anomaly inside a system that was designed around loops of repetition. Surrounded by death and illusions, he grapples with despair. Flashbacks highlight how he lost companions who decided that going back was preferable to walking forward in seemingly hopeless conditions. Some tried to convince him to join them, claiming that returning earlier in time would allow them to gather an even stronger party. But Jaehwan's will is different. Instead of seeking an easier do-over, he wants an authentic solution, even if it's far more painful. He also begins to suspect that regressing over and over fosters denial of reality. The tower thrives on that denial, feeding people the belief, next time, I'll get it right. That cycle just extends the tower's hold over humanity. However, because he remains in a single forward timeline, Jaehwan's sense of self grows more fixed, more real. He's forging an identity that cannot be reset by the system. This monstrous entity, a towering demon-like creature, stands as gatekeeper to ascend deeper into the tower. Typically, a large raid group would be needed to defeat it. Jaehwan, all by himself, faces a savage, drawn-out battle. During the confrontation, the boss sneeringly remarks, through the tower's bizarre communication channels, that Jaehwan should just regress like everyone else. This line intensifies Jaehwan's fury and reaffirms his determination. Jaehwan ultimately prevails, but at the cost of severe injuries, broken bones, slashed flesh. He stumbles forward, drenched in blood, living proof that one man can push on. With the boss defeated, Jaehwan gains entry to the next floor. Here, he encounters a different kind of challenge. Illusions of old friends, old enemies, and lost memories. The tower tests his psyche. Scenes of better times, of a life before the apocalypse, flicker across his path. For many challengers, these illusions break their spirits, luring them into using a regression stone to fix everything in the past. Jaehwan, though, sees through the illusions. He has had enough of illusions in all forms, from the tower's system messages to the promises of rewriting history. In an internal monologue, he questions if even his own existence could be part of some bigger fictional scheme. But he decides it doesn't matter. The only truth he trusts is the step he takes forward. In these moments, we get an introspective narrative that sets the world after the fall apart from typical power fantasy manhwa. It's not just about leveling up or collecting loot. It's about refusing to reset and genuinely confronting the consequences of a ruined world. As we move into, Jaehwan stumbles upon something unexpected. There's another presence on this floor who also didn't regress. This presence might be an NPC-like figure tied to the tower, or possibly a failed regressor who can no longer turn back. That there is at least one more being who walked forward, though not necessarily human. The conversation reveals cryptic hints about the nature of the tower. The being mentions that the tower draws strength from infinite loops of regression. It's as if each reset fuels a never-ending energy source for the ones who designed this system. Jaehwan's eyes are opened to an even larger conspiracy behind the scenes. However, this new character also warns him. The deeper floors are far more monstrous, shaped by the illusions of thousands of lost souls. And if he continues refusing the stone, the path ahead might be unbelievably harsh, even compared to what Jaehwan has already endured. Jaehwan stands battered but unbroken, painfully aware that he's chosen the rarest path, a path the tower itself never meant for humans to travel. The final panels often show him gazing up at a vast, dark corridor or swirling vortex, marking the entrance to the next floor, as system messages glitch out in confusion. Error. Anomaly detected. Continuing scenario. The sense of cosmic scale envelops the storyline. We begin to suspect that the tower is only a fraction of what's truly going on, and Jaehwan's unwavering forward step could rewrite the rules of the entire world. This wraps up our recap of The World After the Fall, chapters 1 to 5. If you're intrigued by Jaehwan's isolated journey and the tower's endless attempts to make him turn back, keep watching for our next episode, where we'll dive deeper into the hidden lore, the intricate mechanics of this world, and the fresh allies and enemies that await him on the upper floors. Stay tuned to see how Jaehwan's unyielding resolve shapes the path no one else dares to tread. And remember, in a system designed to make you restart, sometimes the boldest choice is to keep moving forward, no matter the cost.